I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Hello everybody, welcome to Weeb Review, the show where I review your favorite anime Snap. It seems every year or so we get a new popular Shounen anime that really takes the anime world by surprise and becomes popular. 2019 was Demon Slayer, 2018 was the year Black Clover got pretty popular, and 2017 saw My Hero Academia reach its massive height in popularity, as well as the return of Attack on Titan. And I believe that for 2020 and maybe even 2021, depending on how the year goes, the next popular Shounen anime was Jujutsu Kaisen. Before we talk about the good and the bad, and why I believe Jujutsu Kaisen is deserving of such a title, it's important we talk about those behind the curtain. The studio behind this was MAPPA, and if you don't know who MAPPA is, you really haven't been paying attention to anime recently. MAPPA has been a top studio for the past year, not only releasing this, but also Attack on Titan Season 4, God of High School, and Dorohedoro. Not to mention they also worked on Kakegurui, Zombieland Saga, Banana Fish, Terran Resonance, Dororo, and Yuri on Ice. It's very rare to come across a MAPPA show that doesn't excel in animation and art. Speaking of good animation, the director for this is Seong-Hyu Park, who's a very good director in my opinion. He made the animation for God of High School and Girl Vanishing Line, and I know for a fact God of High School had amazing animation, specifically in the action scenes. And it seems like Gala was the same way, judging from the trailer. I haven't seen that show, so I'm just judging a trailer here, but it looks like it has pretty good action scenes. Sound directing was done by Akihito Fujita, who also makes amazing sounds. He made the soundtrack for Wonder Egg Priority, and I don't think I need to say anything else. And the original creator is Gigi or Gigi Agutama. It's either Gigi or Gigi, I'm not sure. But with all that out the way, let us begin the actual review. In a high school, there's this club called the Oculate Club. They regularly play around with paranormal beings, however, most of the school doesn't take them serious.
I'm super serial.
Little do these kids know, paranormal beings actually do exist, and they are called curses. Very evil monsters that hunt humans down, however, cannot be seen unless you have cursed energy. Cursed energy is the power that's used to fight curses, and the problem is not everybody has cursed energy. The people who have cursed energy are called Jujutsu sorcerers. Itadori, our main protagonist, bumps into one of these Jujutsu sorcerers, and he informs him that his club is in possession of a very dangerous cursed item called Sukana's Finger, which has the power of bringing large amounts of curses towards it. Itadori and the sorcerer are having a hard time with the curses, and when Itadori is about to be eaten, he eats Sukana's finger whole. Yeah. Which leads him to getting possessed by Sukuna himself. Despite being possessed by an extremely powerful curse, Itadori can control his body pretty well and can even hold back Sukuna. Goju Satoru, one of, if not the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer, has an idea to have Itadori eat all 20 Sukuna's fingers, and then they will have to kill Itadori, in order to also kill Sukuna in the process. So now, Itadori must grow as a Jujutsu sorcerer by going to a school where they teach people to become Jujutsu sorcerers so he can eat all of the Sukuna's fingers before he inevitably has to die. I would recommend Jujutsu Kaisen for a lot of things, however, a unique story is not one of those things. There are bad things in the world, main protagonist must get stronger to kill the bad things. It's fine, but that plot has been done over and over and over again. Having a generic story isn't a bad thing. Demon Slayer also had a generic story, and by the way, I didn't enjoy Demon Slayer's story that much either, but don't expect anything too unique from a story perspective with this show. Let's start this off with Itadori. I actually really love his character, because while he does seem stereotypical, a teenager whose goal is to help people, his character is so much more than that. His story isn't one where he wants to be the Wizard King, or to be the next Hokage, or to be the #1 hero. He's just a guy trying to do some good in the world before he has to die. He wants to give his friends proper deaths, and over time he does learn the dark nature of being a Jujutsu sorcerer, that not everyone can have a proper death. His goal as a Jujutsu sorcerer is to make sure nobody is dying from Sukuna anymore, even if it means he has to die as well. He's an idiot, but he also doesn't yell at the top of his lungs, which is a stereotype in shonen protagonists that I have grown very tired of, by the way. And overall, he just seems like a really good person. Now let's talk about the main antagonist, Sukuna himself. Honestly, his character is pretty obvious to guess when you consider he's one of the strongest curses to ever exist. He's a dick who rarely cares about consequences for his actions because that's how powerful he is. He doesn't care about his opponents and is quite arrogant with his power. Basically, yeah, he's exactly what you'd expect a powerful curse to be like. And his main goal is to take over Itadori's body and to kill Satoru Goju and to lead the world into domination. It's pretty obvious. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Itadori has two buddies who are a part of his group. The first one I'll talk about is Megumi. He's a pretty stoic character, like the complete opposite of Itadori. However, he does care about his comrades just like Itadori. But he's okay to me, not my favorite character, but he got some good development really late in the series. The last first year is Nobara, who is from the countryside and only just moved to Tokyo recently. Because of this, she likes to buy things, like a lot of things. She's a pretty harsh person and is usually violent to those who insult her or try to hit her face. However, she can be pretty nice when it comes down to it. She's very confident in herself and her abilities, like she talks shit during battles, and I'll admit it is pretty funny.
Kikaya! よくも私の子孫がめんどくせえのは分かったよ
Goju Satoru is like their teacher. He's the Kakashi of the group. Only Kakashi wishes he had sexy ass eyes like those. Despite being strong, and I mean strong as hell, he's actually pretty goofy and playful with the students. The only time he's serious is when he's talking with the higher-ups. He hates the higher-ups because they don't like Itadori and believes they should just kill him now. For most of the show though, he's a carefree, overpowered badass. I didn't want to talk about the side characters because these things take extremely long, but goddammit, the side characters are really good too. So yeah, to save time, I'm not talking about the teachers. Maki is a very interesting character in my opinion. She actually doesn't have any cursed energy and she can't see curses without her glasses on. She fights the curses using these weapons called cursed tools which already have cursed energy in them. Despite this, she really wants to become a sorcerer so she can prove her family wrong since her family see her as a disappointment due to the previously mentioned lack of cursed energy. Everyone at the school sees her as a leader. She's headstrong, very smart, and blunt. She is best girl as well. Panda is a panda, but he's not actually a panda. He's actually a cursed corpse born with emotions by the principal. He's a pretty happy guy all things considered, but I really like his power. Having 3 different modes to use in battle is pretty sick. There's also a guy named Toge, and I love Toge. He only speaks in ingredients for rice balls. There is a reason he does this though. His power is that he has cursed speech, which allows him to control people and things using his voice.
役立たず三輪です
眠れ
He doesn't talk to prevent him accidentally saying something that could harm his friends or himself, so he seems like a pretty nice guy for that reason. However, we can't really get much character from him because he only speaks in ingredients for rice bars. So it's revealed that there is another Jutsu Sorcerer School in Kyoto. I will quickly go over them, it won't be too long. Mai is Maki's sister who hates her. Noriroshi is a stoic, powerful dude. Aoi is probably my favorite character in the show. He's probably the strongest student and he's funny. The only thing he cares about is your preference in women. If you answer a boring preference, he kicks your ass. Very simple. And finally, Mekamaru. I think this clip summarizes his character pretty well.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs, and every afternoon I break my arm.
So finally, what do I think about all these characters? Well, I wouldn't be rambling about them if I didn't enjoy them. I love the fact that the antagonist is possessing the main protagonist. I think it's a very interesting and unique thing. And man, the fact that the supporting characters are very interesting in their own ways. The supporting cast might be better than the main cast, and that's saying a lot because I really like the main cast. The chemistry between Itadori, Nobara, and Megumi is pretty great. And I didn't even mention the stuff with Junpei, Mojido, and the other special curses, and the teachers. There's just so many great characters, it's tough to talk about all of them because I don't want this video to be too long. It's definitely a huge positive for the show. Alright boys, it's animation talk time. The animation is good, like really good. The fight scenes are incredible. It's really tough to choose a favorite because from the very first episode to the last, it is packed with amazing fights. It's not even just the fight scenes, the animation as a whole feels very fluid. I'm telling you, MAPPA will be ranked with some of the top tier anime studios like Bones in a few years, just you freaking wait. It might even be this year. For now, yeah, the animation does so much for the show. It puts the show on a whole other level, similar to what Ufotable did for Demon Slayer actually. The sound is great. I love the soundtrack to this anime, guys. The first opening is a bop and the vibes from the first ending, guys. the vibes. I was heartbroken when they changed that ending, but it had to happen. The series takes a bit of a darker route, and ending it with a rap track doesn't really fit the tone. And again, the fight scenes have really nice intense music behind them. The best thing to go with an amazing action scene is a badass J-Rock song. It gets you intense, it gets you hyped. The songs can make you feel emotional, and it is just a perfect job done by the composers and the music directors. The character designs are really memorable. Again, I like fantasy stuff, so these curses are my favorite things in the world. That dude is a volcano with black teeth. Like, what? They have a freaking panda in the show, but he's not actually a panda. They have a mech in the show, and of course, they have the man with the sexiest eyes to ever grace the anime world. Goju's eyes alone deserve its own positive. I also like mystery, and having a character whose mouth is completely covered, or having a character whose eyes are completely covered, and the teachers always have their eyes covered, it just really makes me excited. Finally, the power system. I think that's a positive. The idea that not everybody can have cursed energy is a nice touch. It makes a character like Maki that much more likable to me. I like having a power system where not everybody has the power. It makes the people who do have the power feel much more important. Plus, they're very diverse. My favorite is Aoi's. The dude can literally switch himself with other people and some objects simply by clapping his hands. He could even do a fake out where he claps his hands but doesn't actually teleport. Togi can literally make words hurt you. This old dude plays an electric freaking guitar, and Goju can literally mess with space. Yeah, these powers are cool, I don't care what anybody says. My only complaint is that the story is generic. Besides that, I have no other cons to give this show. Jujutsu Kaisen is a really good shonen anime. Even though the story is pretty basic at times, the great characters, amazing animation and art, top tier character design, and character interactions, as well as a fantastic score, the story can take a back seat. I'd recommend this show if you haven't seen it already. It is, in my opinion, the next big shonen anime. My name is Kikaya, and I'll see y'all later.